Hello everyone and Merry Christmas to all who are watching this video. I am filming this and posting this video on Christmas Day, December 25th, 2024. And it's been a little while since I've made a video, but I am back. I've been on vacation out of the country, but I knew I had to be making a video and can't go too long without not making a video. So in today's video, we are going to be looking at the 2026 Senate map. This is the first video I've made on 2026. Some other ones in the past I have made on 2028, but 2026 is 2 years closer than 2028. So it's going to be good to start looking at this. And just for reference, this is going to be my first map based on 2026 Senate elections. There obviously are going to be House elections. There is not really any point in making that kind of prediction just yet. But we could kind of take a look at here what we have for the 2026 Senate elections. And we see here that more Republicans are going to be up for re-election than Democrats. But once again, Republicans, I think, do have the advantage over here. And the most likely scenario coming out of this election, this next election in 2 years, will be that the map will probably be almost identical to what it is now. Right now, we do have 53 Republican senators and 47 Democrat senators. Republicans were able to flip the states of Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and Montana, and Ohio. So that's 4 flips, which is a pretty good night for them. They could have done even more by flipping states like Michigan and Wisconsin, which were very, very close. And even Arizona and Nevada were surprisingly close. But let's get into this prediction. And before we do, please subscribe to my channel, like all my videos, put all your comments and suggestions in the section below. And please check out all my other content once you're done watching this video. And for the safe states for Democrats is what we're going to begin with. These are states that Democrats are going to win by 12 points or more. And this is, once again, very early. So I do not have any polls to go off of. I don't really have any data like that. All I have to go off of is the 2024 election, as well as some trends from the last election, the last Senate election as well, that we could be bringing into this election cycle. And so first of all, Oregon is going to be a safe state. I think Colorado at this point is also going to be a safe state, both Senate-wise and presidential-wise. Kamala Harris was able to win the state by around 11.5%, which is almost safe, but this is going to be going into that safe column. Illinois, it was close during the presidential election, this time being around 7 points closer than usual, I believe. But in the Senate race, during a midterm especially, where the Republican is going to be the incumbent, I think it'll just be around 12 points or more in the Democrat column. Same thing with the states of Delaware, Rhode Island, and Massachusetts. Those will also be safe for the Democrats in their column, and that'll bring them all the way up to 40 seats. But Republicans will pass them with Idaho, Wyoming, South Dakota, Montana is going to be safe, Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, Alaska, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, West Virginia, South Carolina, and and Florida. Those are all going to be safe states in the Republican column, especially Florida now. This is going to be a safe race right here. We do not have a Marco Rubio as senator anymore because he will be in the cabinet. So there will have to be an election in the state of Florida in that Senate race. And Republicans, probably no matter who it is, and I do expect DeSantis to appoint someone that'll be fairly good in the state of Florida. But this is a state that Donald Trump won by over 13 points. This is a Republican state now. And in these Senate races, they're all going to be around that safe margin now. And I do think a Republican will probably win by 12 points as of now. Texas is a state that's going to be a little bit closer, and we're going to be going into those likely states now. First with the state of Texas, which is going to be on that border between likely and safe. Mark, I believe that Ted Cruz won by around 10 points, maybe a little bit less than 10 points, which is a lot better than most people think. And I do think that the next time around, this state will stay in the Republican column, probably on that higher single digit to lower double digit margin, between 8 to 12 points right now. What we're going to be looking at in the state of Texas. Same thing with the states of Iowa and Ohio. These two states are basically Republican strongholds right now. Iowa voted for Trump by 13, and Ohio voted for Trump by 11. So both these states are also going to be falling in that likely column, closer to being safe. And once next year rolls around and we do start getting polls on those midterm races, we'll be able to put these more respectively in their column. And just with those states, Republicans already have the majority, and that's why I think it is pretty much almost impossible for the Republicans to lose their majority this time around. And in the next few cycles, and I will make a video about that Republicans do have a very, very significant advantage in the Senate going forward in the next decade or so because of how the maps are drawn per state. Republicans always win more states than Democrats in presidential races, even if they lose the popular vote or even if they lose the election. And so we're going now to the Democrat likely states. First of all, New Mexico is going to be going to this column. A state that did get closer this election cycle went from Biden plus 11 to Harris plus 6. I do expect, however, that the Senate race will continue to stay in that likely column. And likely column would be 6 to 12 points, just for reference. Minnesota will also be going in that likely column for the Democrat Party as of now. And this is also a state that could be a lot closer eventually, maybe on that Senate race. Right now, Republicans do pretty poorly in the state of Minnesota in regards to the governor's races and in the Senate races. Trump did good in the 2024 election in this state, but other than that, Republicans do not do good in the state of Minnesota. Going now to the state of New Jersey, this right here is a very, very interesting state because I really, really don't know, since we don't have any data, how this state's going to look like in the next Senate election. However, going off of the fact that Kamala Harris only won the state by 5.5 points, I'm going to say right now that it is going to be very hard for a Democrat to be able to win the state by over 12 points. So I'm going to put this state in the a likely column between 6 and 12 points for the Democrat Party. And the last one is going to be the state of Virginia, which is another state that Kamala Harris won by around 5 to 6 points, which is about half of what Joe Biden won by in the 2020 election. And so it is a state that Democrats will be holding on to in that likely column. And so the rest of these states now are going to be probably lean to tilt once again. Not completely sure since we're so far away, but this is the first kind of look at what the 2026 midterm elections could look like in the Senate. And the closest races are most likely going to be the states of Michigan, Georgia, North Carolina, New Hampshire, and Maine. Right now, going to the Democrats' lean states, I would probably put the states of Michigan and New Hampshire both in that lean column for Democrats between 1 and 6%, or 2 and 6%, sorry. And these states are slight lean Democrats states in the Senate. In the presidential election, Donald Trump did really good in the state of Michigan, but Senate Democrats seem to perform a little bit better always than the Republican compared to what Trump does against a Democrat on the same ticket. And the state of New Hampshire is also one that Democrats always hold a slight edge in the Senate. It really depends who runs. If we do have a very popular person like Chris Sununu running, then he will probably be able to flip that seat. But right now, we do not know that at all because he has not announced that he will end up running for that Senate seat. But going down to the final states, and these are the final 3 states. Susan Collins, I think right now, will probably hold Maine. Last time around, she was supposed to lose the state by a pretty large amount, and she ended up winning by a pretty comfortable amount. I think she'll end up winning again. She's fairly popular in her own state, and there's no reason why she would lose that Senate seat, since she is really liked among her state. And the people of Maine and New Hampshire are 2 states that usually like to elect people of the opposite party compared to the presidential election. So, for example, Kamala Harris won the state of Maine by around 7 points, but on the same ballot, they would be able to elect a Republican for Senate or governor. Same thing for New Hampshire, and surprisingly, same thing for the state of Vermont. These states up here are just a little bit more different than the rest of the country, since they do split their tickets a little bit more. But coming down now to the South and the final 2 states, it will be the states of North Carolina and Georgia. Right now, I do think both of them will be a hold. I am going to put Georgia in that tilt column. Actually, sorry, Georgia is going to be a flip. North Carolina is going to be a hold. I do think Republicans could hold that race. If Roy Cooper runs for governor, then maybe it'll be a little bit of a challenge. But right now, I'm keeping it in that column. And then in Georgia, I think this right now will be a flip into the Republican column. However, once again, another 50-50 race, a state that has been trending Democrat. Trump was able to flip it back and win it by over 2 points, but it's really going to be up to debate what happens to this state in the 2026 election. But the only reason why I'm putting it in that a tilt column for Republicans is because the current governor of Georgia, will probably be running for that seat. And so it'll end up being around 54 seats for Republicans, 46 seats for Democrats. In a good scenario for Democrats, they would probably end up flipping both these seats, and it'll end up being around 52 to 48. But that's all I have for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, put all your comments in the section below, and I will check you guys out in the next one.